Hey guys, this is Hero, back today with another video. I know it's been a while, especially with the whiteboard, but finally back from my vacation at home, so I'll be uploading more often. I did have some time to think though, and I think I'm going to keep some notes on a little piece of paper for right now. Before I was trying to keep it as genuine as possible, but however, just due to the dynamic of the fact that you guys are watching me through a screen and the combination of that and the way I'm articulating myself, I just thought the message would come across a little bit better if I just have some notes with me the entire time, along with the whiteboard as usual for now, okay? But it's still pretty, like, I just kind of wrote some stuff down, and it's just mainly just examples that I just want to make sure I give across to you so I'm not thinking of them on the spot and going off on too many tangents. So today I'm going to be talking about, the topic of this video is subconscious addictions. So we have external and internal addictions that we have in our life. So for example, external would be things we do, right? So food we eat, activities we participate in, etc. And internal would be kind of ideas we have. So for example, if you have an addiction of seeking attention or validation, or you're just addicted to dopamine rushes, stuff like that. However, they're tied together, right? So in order to get a dopamine rush, you'd have to do something external to achieve that. Okay, so they're not separate. That's basically the concept I want you to get across here. The other thing is discovering root causes. So most likely the root causes are internal usually. And do not judge or try to address a symptom. So the symptoms are external, okay? And I'm gonna give you guys some examples now. So for example, right? Checking social media could be an external addiction, right? But however, why do we check social media? It's because we're curious about what others are doing, okay? Now, we can take that even deeper, okay? Why do we care about what others are doing? It's because the ego is trying to compare us to someone else. It's always trying to compare. It's in like a lower lack-based mindset, okay? It's always trying to get more and more and more, okay? Then once you identify that and the fact that that comparison, kind of habit the ego has is causing anxiety, once you identify that, that's when we can really make changes in our life, okay? So here's the thing. Addictions, there's two major things about them, okay? One is that they distract you from identifying current disturbance, and two is that they cause more disturbance themselves, okay? So for example, the social media example, okay? We all have a certain level of anxiety and depression, okay? So when we check social media, we're distracting ourselves from all the garbage and resistance in our brain. And on top of that, we're adding more, okay? I'll give you another couple examples just so you guys can really get the full picture. When we eat good food, okay, especially like food that's bad for us or food that's lower in vibration, okay? Why are we eating the food? It's because we're unable to kind of discipline ourselves from our senses, okay? Mostly the taste buds. Now, by that, what you're basically doing is that you're distracting yourself. You're not really addicted to eating the food. You're addicted to the fact that you're looking for that pleasure each time you take a bite from that food. And that pleasure is distracting yourself from all the garbage that's going on in your mind, okay? And that's keeping you in a lower state. Now, that's one side of the coin, right? It's distracting you. Now, how is this causing more disturbance? Food, we are what we eat, especially on a spiritual level, okay? That food usually, especially if it's like very processed, and a lot of the stuff we eat is processed, okay? Even the most, harmless of foods that we think, okay? All that processed food, the energy that food is made out of is keeping us also in a lower state, okay? So eating that food, it's keeping us in a lower state. And on top of that, the fact that we're getting that rush each time we take a bite of that food, it's distracting us already from ourselves trying to be aware of the fact that we're living lower in a lower vibration and that we're trying to move up, okay? I'll give you guys another couple of examples throughout the rest of this. So avoiding distractions, staying away from screens. I think I've covered that from the checking social media. Staying away from screens is just an example, okay? So distractions, for example, could be, it doesn't just have to be checking social media, okay? It could be, like, for example, eating food or drinking alcohol, okay? Now, like I said, there's two things that it does. It causes more disturbance, and it distracts you from identifying disturbance and enhancing your awareness even more, okay? So I'm pretty sure a lot of us I know that alcohol distracts you from your disturbance, right? We drink to numb ourselves, okay? Now, how can alcohol cause more disturbance? Well, whether you're aware of it or not, see, the thing is, the lower your vibration is already, the harder for you it is to be aware of these bad habits, right? Because these bad habits are keeping us in a lower vibration. But if your vibration is already a little bit on the lower side, it's kind of normal to keep doing these things, right? But so as far as the more disturbance being added on, that won't be as prominent if your vibration is lower. However, it will distract you from identifying more and more disturbance, right? So, for example, a lot of us may have some kind of anxiety, and you notice that immediately goes away as soon as you drink a certain amount of alcohol. So that's it. So that anxiety is not, sometimes that's not actually true anxiety, okay? It's just the fact that at a spiritual level, and I'm disclaimer here, I'm speaking of everything from a spiritual level, okay? Those kind of thoughts in your mind, that could be some level of awareness that's trying to make you, that's trying to like send you messages, or that's trying to just get you to break out of certain patterns, okay? And you drinking that alcohol is it's kind of distracting you from that and keeping you lower, okay? I'm gonna give you guys one more example before I move on to the end of the video. Engaging in toxic drama, okay? So when you do that, you're doing two things. One, you're engaging in that aspect of social media where you're curious about what others are doing, and then that's the ego trying to compare, and that's leading to anxiety. But another thing that drama does, or just engaging in any sort of toxic behavior, is you're looking for validation, right? Your ego is also, your ego has many things. It's also looking for a lot of validation, like anything it does, right? But however, by doing that, that's also causing anxiety as well, okay? Even checking social media, I said, you get curious about what others are doing. However, when you post, you're also looking for validation as well in there, okay? So this leads me into the end of the video. So I was just speaking about what the ego was doing, so I'm gonna kind of jump to this point down here. Monitor and avoid ego traps, okay? I have a video with the 3 main ego traps on there. I'd recommend watching that, and if you have any questions, let me know. But this can help you really avoid kind of falling through a trap door and lowering engaging in other actions or subconscious addictions that won't be beneficial for you moving more spiritually, okay? Now, avoiding unhealthy foods and engaging in grounded activities is how I'm going to end the video, okay? So these two are also what's going to help you move up along with this, okay? So I just said how eating bad food or drinking alcohol or something like that is going to lower your vibration. Now, the bad, quote unquote, bad addictions are, like I said, are going to distract you from identifying disturbance, and they're going to cause more disturbance. These 3 are going to do the opposite, okay? So they're going to reduce disturbance and resistance, and they're going to cause you to be more aware of the disturbance you already have, okay? Now, this is going to take some time to get used to, okay? Like, a lot of your fears, your anxieties can come to the surface. However, you don't want to identify with that, okay? Just like with that alcohol anxiety example I just gave. When that anxiety kind of comes up, you don't have to identify with your thoughts, okay? You can just let them be and just use that as tools as like kind of like awareness tools to become more and more higher vibration. Okay, so we're gonna avoid unhealthy foods, right? Because healthier foods are gonna help raise our vibration. And the other part of the video, as far as the distracting, I'm gonna tie into this point right here and why. Engage in grounded activities. Okay, I've noticed in my past videos I've been a little bit too vague. I'm gonna just give you 3 grounded activities right here. Okay, the main 3 are yoga, meditation, and fasting. Okay, by avoiding unhealthy foods, that's a form of fasting. Okay, there's many forms of fasting. Okay, there's just avoiding certain foods. There's avoiding all foods. There's avoiding waters, etc. There's many forms of fasting you can do. All of them, to an extent, achieve a certain purpose of kind of detaching yourself from the senses, which your sensory pleasure is what your ego wants. Okay, so by not giving your ego what it wants, it helps break down your ego, and by that, it helps kind of let the disturbance, instead of being stuck there, it kind of helps it just kind of flow out. Okay, now a lot of us feel like fasting is uncomfortable, for example, or avoiding unhealthy foods is uncomfortable, for example. It's not what we want to do. Okay, or it's not what our ego wants to do, is what I should say. However, why is it that that's not what you want to do? It's because we're so used to distracting ourselves with food. When we're eating foods that don't give us that same rush of pleasure, it helps our brain become more aware of all the garbage that's in our mind. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, so that fasting or avoiding unhealthy foods, that's one thing. Now, yoga and meditation. So meditation is more at a mental level. Yoga is more at a body level. The mind and body are connected. Okay, there's energy flowing throughout all of them. I know we've kind of been trained to just use our mind and just think of everything at a mental level only. However, spiritually, there's energy going through all our body. Okay, and we want to be aware of it, through yoga and meditation. Okay, it doesn't matter really what practices you do and stuff like that. Just as long as you're kind of tapping into that awareness and enhancing your awareness, you're gonna identify like all the resistance that you kind of currently have with you, and the activities you're doing that are causing more resistance. And also, you're not gonna be as easily distracted when you're doing activities throughout your outside of yoga and meditation, because your awareness is a little bit higher. Okay, so yeah, it's going to reduce your resistance, and it's going to reduce you from getting distracted. Okay, so I think I've covered this topic well. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. And until next time, I'm going to try to post a lot more often since I'm back. So till next time, guys, thank you and have a good day.